And good evening, everybody. Welcome back into the Dragon's Den. Name's Digital Dragon. I'm a 3D printing variety streamer here on Twitch, where we do everything from printer unboxings to 3D printer builds, prototyping, and builds of all kinds of cool projects. So welcome on in. How's everything going tonight, Chewy? Sean Don't, welcome in. Kali, nice to see you again. Kinsley K1, hey, hey. Tugboat, how's it going? You guys getting excited? What exams did you have today? How's it going, Mr. Wizzix? It's been a little bit hectic. Had to get in and do a little bit of work this morning. Knock off early to next week is exams. Okay, cool. Had to knock off work early to run to a doctor's appointment, like at the actual UNC hospital down in Chapel Hill. So that put a damper on it. So I got back late and needed to finish some things up before the stream. So that's why I'm a little bit behind. Hey, Pez Liz, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. By the way, Liz, I have something for you. So you'll have to definitely, like you're not going to come find me, but yeah, definitely come see me because I do have something for you. For me, yes, for you. Kevin gets hugs, you get gifts. Spanish. Gotcha. That ought to be fun. So yeah, I'm I'm done project wise. It's gonna be a little quiet. In fact, one of the things that we can do is just well, we're gonna reach around here and shut some printers down because they're not gonna run for a week. So no sense having them just sit here. Especially since we have storms going all week long. Whoops, wrong side. There we go. And I'll climb back and get that one later. But yeah. No, not rip printers, just they're going to take a well-deserved nap. Hopefully when they wake back up after their nap, they'll stop acting like 2-year-olds and they'll print nicely. You know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes they just act up and want to be a pain for no apparent reason. Well, let me shut down Parthenax. I should probably pull the filament out before. So I still need to pull the tool heads apart over here though and figure out why the left tool head is printing strangely. Either that or just heat it up and shove a bunch of PC through it and see if I can't get it super hot and clear out whatever the hell. Hopefully they don't start talking and form a revolt. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Eagle the Dragon, how you doing? Yep. Having a few more highlights on Thursday. Cool. Awesome. You'll lead them to revolt. No. No walkout, no revolt, no walkouts. Yeah. So, just a lot going on. We're trying to get the last minute things here. In fact, when I'm done streaming, I'm going to put the stream stuff away, take my laptop downstairs and get it packed so that I'm ready to finish packing and hit the road in the morning. I don't want to pack tonight just because there's more chance of rain. Imagine that. It's going to rain the entire next week over here. So just trying to make sure that nothing's in the car that can get wet and kind of minimize the exposure to the elements. We'll have toolboxes and stuff like that in there, but like the drag racer and Mrs. Dragon's death racer are going to be in the actual cab of the truck. So yes, it gets some quiet for a few days. Then we'll come home and it gets crazy again. Because then we come home and it's the mad dash to Murph, and I'm going to have to start printing coinage out, or not coinage, but maker chips, to try and get ready for that. And that first weekend that we're back, we'll get back on Tuesday. That Saturday, we've got the maker mashup or meetup over at Ecovate. So yeah, still going to be crazy. Kind of like 2 back-to-back shows. You're going to notice a drop in your power bill over the next few months. Uh, Maybe. Or I make up for being gone for a week by having too many printers going at once. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Let me get that out. Should really find a dry box to put the TPU in. One down. Will the other one play nicely, or is it gonna do its thing? Yes. And open all the random stuff that you get. Yes, all the stuff that I will get at the show. That's going to be the fun part. Is everything, you know, seeing everybody at the show again, seeing everything. I really, 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 really want to do a Rack Robotics EDM. Would it be something I use every day? No. Is it cool as hell technology? Yes. But yeah. By the way, let me switch over here real fast. So the very first print that I did on this is actually hanging on the back of the printer. Let me undo that because it's the little poop shoot file. I shut it off on Zombie Stream Friday night. But here we go. This is the very first print off of this machine. I'm trying to angle it so you can see anything popping off the light up there. And the answer is you really can't. I mean, it's near perfect. This is polar filament silver. Got the poops down in there. We've got the display up here. It's even got the USB port right there. I mean, it's a rendition of the printer, complete with create the future and, you know, like all the little wording around the printer is modeled into it. So this is kind of really cool. Hey, Mrs. Dragon, how's it going? We will bring home useful items with reason. Sure we will. Sure we will. Of course we will. Let's see. And then I decided to print the Eiffel Tower model. And let me see if I can get this to focus in there. This is my first time ever printing an Eiffel Tower. And this came out beautifully. You've got the little inner rails around the lower side. All of the overhangs came out really nice as well. So that's a cool little model there. Of course, we had to do the little Buddha, a baby Buddha. Once again, these are all pre-sliced models on the printer itself. So today, though, we're going to slice a model and print something. And did this? Hey, it did. All righty. And make sure that both of those cool down. And we'll get that one shut off as well. You don't actually believe me. Why don't you believe me that I'm only going to get useful things? The tugboat's going to be bringing me stickers. Those are useful for decorating things. Just think of how small the tubes are. You know, tubes aren't that big. I mean, they're only like what, that? I mean, we can get a bunch of tubes. I can tubify everything. I mean, I can follow what's his name? Killer Prince lead and swap out the UHPs over here for tubes. I mean, Luke's lab does have that, the plates and everything. Yeah, he's going to try and buy some printers off me at Murph. All right, Chewy, bring cash. PayPal, Venmo, or not Venmo, but PayPal, Zelle, cash. Monday will be a snooze fest. Why is that? You should have a 2-to-1 policy. He needs to move 2 out to bring 1 home. Yeah, easy there, Nick. Miss Dragon stickers. PayPal or Zelle is going to be the way. Yep, that works. Oh, I got you. You're bringing Miss Dragon stickers, not me. I got you. Thanks for the follow there. Jack in the Shop Laser. Nice. That's a very interesting name. One partially built airplane for like 50 printers. Hey, if I saw the plane, kind of all over at that point. Cash in the kitty and space. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. Or checks made out the Digital Dragon printer buying fund. Huh. Digital Dragon 3D. You tell them that you tell them the 2-to-1 or airplane. Hey, the airplane's up for sale. It's just the one guy that says he'll drive up here tomorrow and get it wants to undercut me by like 30%. Exactly, Chewy. All kinds of space for things. So the other thing that I printed is this piece right here, and its brother piece, this piece right here. And these kind of keep up the same aesthetic. And that's because these are meant to hang on the side of the printer so you can take your lid off and store it on the side. So let's give this a little twist here, and we'll go ahead and put that on. We'll close or turn that off. Get that fan to stop running. Put a door on. Fix the lid later. I'm going to try and do this one screw at a time. Once again, all this is in silver polar filament. and silver PLA polar filament. They'll have some ABS by them, I think, somewhere around here. Hey, Bearded Printer, how's it going? Long time no see. Long time no see. Oh, so it's one or the other. So if I get rid of the airplane, then I don't need to do 2 for 1. I see it. It's one or the other. You want Miss Dragon stickers? Is that what you meant? No, he'll bring you some because last year he forgot. There you go. Okay, so how about that for a concept? Just slides right down on there. Nice and snug. No real issues. And when you need to put it back on there, because you're going to be doing some higher temp filaments, pops right back in. And even if I do a riser lid for this, like we did on the K1C, we can still do this in case we're doing certain things. We're doing maintenance and stuff. So there we go. Now, what I do need to do is come over here to the Elegoo site and download the slicer because, well, like every company does now, even though it looks very much like Orca Slicer, it's a download our slicer. I'm sure I could make Orca Slicer work with a little bit of time of just comparing one profile to another, or potentially even exporting the model, or not the model, but exporting the printer information out of Elegoo Slicer if it'll let me. We're going to go ahead and get that installed. You know, I do want to say I do find it funny that when Mrs. Dragon's here, she doesn't get on the stream, but when she's not here, she gets on the stream. It's almost like she's trying to listen in and hear if I'm giving away secrets about upcoming projects or something. That 3D printer dude with the beard, that guy. Now there's only a few of us. I keep shaving mine. Got Bearded Printer and Zombie Hedgehog and Steve Builds and Nut Creator and so many more. No 3-in-1. That's crazy talk. Oh, no, Tugboat. Let me correct that. The puzzle table, the rotating puzzle table that has the little drawers for the puzzle pieces, we don't have a coffee table. So it's sitting on top of a X1 Carbon box because she could sit crisscross on the couch and pull it up and work on the puzzle, and it's the right height. So that's actually the X1C box is not the problem. It's all of the D&D and the Warhammer 40K chainsaw parts that are all over the puzzle table that make that useless. The dining room table just has, it's an extension of the cluster of the Dragon Den. And it's almost like I need a house that I can just let look like a frat house on the inside of just stuff everywhere. But, okay, so I'm going to jump over here. We're going to take a look at The Elegoo slicer. We are in North America. Printer selection. Centauri Carbon, zero point 0.4 nozzle. Yep, that's what I got. And let's just grab all the filaments. I love we have Elegoo and generic. And yeah, it's going to tell me to go find the printer. And this is something, how can I put this? That sucks. Okay. Um, with Creality, and here, I'll show you that. With Creality, we have what's called Creality Link. And I'm going to bring up Orca Slicer real fast. You're just a guy with a beard and a hobby. There you go. Build a guest house in your backyard for Miss Dragon. That is the 14 by 20 foot shed that was going to be mine that she has overtaken. And I'm slowly taking it back because I just put like a mill on every table in there. And then broker saw. Well, it was put the table on the box or you sat down on the floor and just hunched over, which is bad. But yeah, we'll get that figured out. Yep. I need a man warehouse. That's what I need is a man warehouse. You're a man with you're a guy with no beard and a bunch of hobbies. There you go. Build a hanger for your plane and printers. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, so we've got Elegoo Slicer here, right? Or not, I'm sorry, this is Orca. This is Orca Slicer. If I come over here and start looking around, I should be able to come here to the Creality K1C. And I've connected it. And when you go to connect it, you'll notice that there's this host type called Creality Print. You have to say Creality Print. If you select any of the other types here, it will not talk. Anycubic did the same thing, and it appears Elegoo did the same thing. So unless they're willing to add in and provide their thing for Orca, like you'll see, there's PrusaLink, to connect, Octa Clipper, which works with, Duet, Flash Air, Astrobox, Repetier, MKS, ESP3D, Creality Print, Obico, FlashForge, Simply Print. Ooh, there is Elegoo Link. Ooh, wait a minute. That is new. That must be new as of this. So maybe, just maybe, come in here. There's my, not device, home, no, that. And for the love of God, will companies please make the menus between Windows and Mac the same so I don't have to sit here on stream and go, gee, how do I go and do, re-go through the wizard and set up a new printer? Oh wait, that's right. I have to go to prepare and is clicking the slider thing. Yes, there we go. So, is the Centauri? Ooh, it is. Okay, well, I take back what I was starting to say. Boom, we've got an Elegoo Centauri Carbon. We're going to say Elegoo link. We're going to put in the IP. I think that's the one. Yep. Yay. Awesome. So I don't have to, other than there's going to be default profiles in there for Elegoo. So um, might be worthwhile to still try the Elegoo for a while, but it's good that they have made that available and we can use Orca because that means one less slicer that we have to go and play around with. Um, and not that I mind having 18 different slicers, especially when they're just reskins of Orca. But what I have to do, like I said, is just come in here and look and validate the print profiles between one and the other. Oh, a hanger. Think of all the yard that you wouldn't need to mow, maintain. Yes, that would be great. And the issue I have right now is the only other place on my property that I could put another building would be what we refer to as the top deck, which is where the herb garden is. Because the main part of the yard off to the right side of the house is where our septic system is, our leach field, and we can't put anything over there. So that's the only downside. But hey, they don't have a marketplace. Yes, I am in the Elegoo. Okay, so what would we like to go and find? Um, let's see. Let's go to printables. I typed right. I did. Ooh, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. You need to do that. That's waterproof boxes for a bunch of Wago connectors. Need to do that. Stamps and seals. Nice. Huh. Okay. Does anybody have a suggested file they would like to see us slice and print over here? Any file at all. I know I'm late on the floppy cookie thing, Liz, but how big? It doesn't need to be massively big. I mean, I'm not going to be, I don't need a 6-hour print. The benchy, flexi oxalotl, fix 'em dude motors. Um, search up there. Fix 'em dude motors, complete with a typo. Written place pickup truck, garbage truck, police car, ambulance, taxi cab, race car, ice cream truck, package delivery truck. Got a lot. That's pretty nice. Let's print this guy because, nope, not two color. We'll just do a single color because I don't have a color swap on this. Dragonfly or flower. Yeah, I don't have those files over here though. Cheerful Rose. What? Yeah, those are neat cars designed by a neat guy. Yep. Printing Zombie Red. You know, I do have 4 spools of Zombie Red. I don't know if I want to start a spool of Zombie Red just yet. Oh, and this color here, Mrs. Dragon, on the way out to UNC Chapel Hill today, somebody had, and I'm talking big, like massive boulder in their front yard, that they had painted UNC blue and had sparkles all over it. I was like, if this wasn't a busy road, I would have stopped and taken a picture. I pull down just a 3MF or select in this order. That, assuming that, and no, that, okay. Pass the test. Log in. Yeah, maybe one day. All right. So we got a couple of files. Let's pop them on here and see what we got. How long it'll take. You did Celestial? Yeah, I have some colors that would probably look really cute on that flower. Let's see, the Fix 'em Dude truck. We're just going to go straight normal. I'm not going to change anything. Wow, they have nerfed that. Oh, let me click the advanced button. There we go. That's what I'm used to. 15% rectilinear. Have I told you all that I hate rectilinear and grid? And I hate's a strong word. I dislike gyroid because of the oscillations that it causes. Like everybody's complaining about their printer vibrating so much. Well, why are you doing gyroid by default on a lot of printers? Yeah, that's an hour and a half. That's not bad. Can I just upload or do I have to upload? Oh, there you go. Switch to device tab after upload. Nice. And you can check the upload and print or just uploads. Right now, I'm just going to upload. That's fairly quick. Hey, Wick Allen, how's it going? And yes, Miss Dragon, if I was bringing the printer, I would load up flowers and stuff, but I was told not to bring it. Sure, I wasn't paying attention. Like the GPS told me to go one way, and that's the way I went. And I got to remember how to shut that off. That is, I'll get out. Where's the shut G? I can't remember. Figure it out in a second. Well, or delete that. Now we'll open up the flower. Okay. Do that one. Back to cubic because we like cubic better. The 3-dimensional strength style, and I just better. And that's an hour and 10 minutes, so about the same. Let's click on that upload and print. Now we get time lapse, heated bed leveling. No. Texture build plate side A or side B. We're over on A, which is the 3-star sticky adhesion side. And we're going to leave it there because I did these mounts for the top piece here on the A side to test that out. Yeah, it's super sticky. Like your PLA and PETG are not coming off of it easily. So that's good. Yeah, that's my thing with the gyroid. It's just super duper extra shaky, and I like. Um, but yeah, you know what? That flower might be a good model. Um, if it's the right size, that it will show some color gradients to use as a like test print for different filament types. Because that's the one thing is like I'm thinking over at Ecovate 3D is that was one of the biggest things for Miss Dragon is you need a swatch or something that's big enough to show the color changes on like a Polymaker Rainbow Luminous or Luminous Rainbow because you print a flower and you may not see the color change, right? That's why I did my cat over here. And this turned out very nice and it shows the different color grades, especially if I had a better light source to the crappy one above me. But this shows off the different changes and stuff and how beautiful of a filament this really is. So you need something that's tall enough to see all the color changes on a print, or with at least enough mass that it will show the color changes and the gradients. You know, grid's not that bad. It is fairly fast, but I prefer cubic over grid just because it is a three-dimensional. Grid's going to give you uh, one direction of rigidity and stability. But yeah, I like gyroid, and in certain aspects, it is the right, um, uh, it is the right infill to use for certain things. But for the most part, I prefer cubic just because it's faster. You're not trying to do those large Excel changes, which causes less vibrations on everything in the house. And I think this will work if I do that. Might this out. Come on. I'm even trying to take it off. Go and put this back over here on the Mark IV, which the Mark IV is sort of in timeout for the moment just because it started giving me all kinds of fits. Like I said, I was trying to print my Death Racer treads on it, and it was being all stupid, and out of nowhere just started trying to chew the filament up. So it got put in timeout. Not really put in timeout, but it's I'm trying to print a piece for it that will hopefully make it a little bit easier um, for the filament path to not get jammed up as easily. So do that. feels like let's reconfigure things in the Dragon Den today. All right, so that one's put back in. All I'm doing right now while that's starting to print is I'm taking out the little stub PTFEs that I was using to help guide the TPU into the orbiters, and I'm putting the main PTFE tubes back in. Well, that was wonky. Over on that side. So Mrs. Dragon, I noticed that you've been rather busy. Yeah, this thing is pretty fast and it's on balanced. So good call. Let me come into here. And this is the standard balance speed. There's silent, which is a step slower. Then there's sport and ludicrous. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to put it on ludicrous and see what that does to it. See if it ramps up. It may not make much of a difference with this, unless it's the size of the model thing, but we'll see how it goes. Sounds like someone else I know, or maybe something. Luda? You walked right into doctor's appointments and service. Yeah, that's what I say. I was sitting there chatting with Evil Diesel. Like I said, he missed breakfast on Sunday because of the weather and everything. He slept right through it. But he did come over later in the day and hung out with me for a little bit. And all of a sudden it was just like ding, 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 ding. Like my phone dinging away that appointments were coming in. I was like, oh, well, imagine that. Funny how that happened. Okay, meanwhile, what I need to do is find you. Show G-code window. Turn that the hell off. There we go. Looking at the lines is one thing, but that, like, who really wants to know about the G-code? Does anybody? Like, why is that a default? Sleep. That's an excellent idea. Exactly. Exactly. Like, we're not going to stream way too late tonight because that's my plan, is to pack some things down, get the electronics ready to go, and get to sleep. And I need to make a big note that says, bring Mrs. Dragon's prescriptions that she left behind. Yeah, it may not speed up too much. Let's see it in the device interface here, or actually in the website. Does it show me the Yeah, this is where the interface is a little nerfed, in the fact that it doesn't show like the volumetric print speed or anything like that. It gives you coordinates that it's never going to keep up with. Ooh, I just noticed there was a lighting button. Hallelujah. The one complaint I was going to have was, man, it's dark in there with the lid on. Now I just realized there's a light. Things you realize. Yeah. Well, that's good. But yeah, sleep is an excellent idea. Camera's not working right now for whatever reason. That's not a big thing. We actually took several little power bumps today. It's been storming a lot lately, and so yeah. Oh, great. So the 3 printers may be bad. That's great knowledge. Thank you. No, it should be fine. They're all ABS, so they should be good. Yeah, they're all printed in ABS, so they should be good. The same for the box turtle parts. Just thinking. Death racers. I don't know if Diesel printed them in PETG or PLA. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun when we get there. And hey guys, the new merch is here. Check it out over on the Fourth Wall Shop. There's some new things that are up there. Not just shirts, but we got some other things in there. So, sorry, I just realized I keep closing that. We've got the new coffee and lube stream shirt. We got a notebook, a couple of the heavy duty shirts. The coffee and lube shirt is a lighter weight shirt, by the way. So if you're looking for a lighter weight shirt, that might be the one. We got light and dark mode water bottles, light and dark mode coffee cups. We got the old style coffee mug out there as well. There's something else that you might see at the show that hasn't been posted up here yet. I need to see about getting stickers over here as well. Right now, if you want a sticker, come see me at the table at any of the shows and you'll get a sticker. Or at least while supplies last. Yeah, fingers crossed, Mrs. Dragon, and everything's good. I mean, if something happens, it is what it is. We will adapt, adjust, and overcome. Semper Gumby. Semper Gumby. People in my life that should know better and should check Discord for announcements of upcoming events What was I looking for? I was looking for... checking on the... need to check to see if I had a message from Waters, because we're picking him up and bringing him with us. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. Like I said, there's been a lot of storms coming across through the central and eastern parts of the states. There was flood warnings. I actually got diverted around the flood today. That was great. But yeah, we're gonna get up in the morning and hit the road. Expect some posts on I was gonna say Twitter, but X and stuff about the road trip. Been really nice in Iowa. Smoked some baby backs today. All right, Wick, Iowa. Where's that? Let me check. Are we swinging by for dinner on the way? Might need to. I mean, if you're cooking baby backs. Nah. We have to go out of our way. Oh well. Yeah, northeast Iowa. Yeah, we'd have to go way out of the way. In 10-ish hours, yeah. Yeah, we know we'd have to go way out of the way for that. But 10-ish hours, I mean, that might be, that's enough time, right? Yeah, so how many people were on watching over on Zombie Stream last night? I know we raided into ZNZ for Zombie Stream about his birthday, but I jumped on for a little bit and then had to get off because I was tired. Needed to do a couple of touch-ups on the driver's head for Mrs. Dragon's Death Racer, so I tried to do that while I could still see straight. Denver's about 12 hours from your door. Cool. Yeah, it was nice being on there. Nice being on there. I got on there as they were looking at all the floppy cookies. Some of those made me extremely hungry. So, speaking of hungry, I basically skipped lunch because I was driving out to Chapel Hill and then driving back. And so I stopped at the local diner since I won't be there on Sunday and, you know, stopped in and ate a little something. Had me some pulled pork. And in fact, I think I have like half a pound of it in the fridge right now. They gave me so much, but pulled pork, some coleslaw, some mashed taters and gravy, a little cornbread. Good stuff. And then I came home and had to finish some laundry and some other stuff around here so that I could get ready, final push. Trying real hard not to forget certain things. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. I figure we're going to do a little chill stream today. Print a couple of things and just chat. It'll be a shorter stream today because, like I said, I want to make sure and get everything pre-positioned and ready to go in the truck first thing in the morning. Evil Diesel is going to drop his daughter off at school and then swing by, and we'll toss his stuff into the truck and go get Waters. I still don't know exactly where I'm picking him up at. He's trying to see if he can leave his car in a protected place so we don't have to drive all the way to the other side of Raleigh and back before heading, go east to go west. Um, but yeah, it'll be good times. Do not forget your CPAP machine. I will not forget my CPAP machine. I will not forget my CPAP machine. I will put it exactly where I want it. You left on 421 up through Greensboro. I was looking, there's a couple of different routes, and it was kind of like I was going to take the middle of the routes. I'm taking the northerly route versus heading down to Little Rock and then coming back up. But it's not going up in and around Kentucky. I'll still pretty much go the same way you went, I think. I think I'll be going the same way that you went. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It'll be a long, fun drive. We'll have, what? We'll have, I think we'll probably do 10-hour days, and then that'll leave us with a shorter day to come in on Friday. I just need to be careful. I'm trying to limit the altitude that I'm at for duration. So, some people were saying, hey, come in on Thursday, do this or that. The problem with me coming in on Thursday is that now means Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days up at altitude. And Mrs. Dragon will tell you the last time I was there for 5 days up at altitude was a surprise visit. And I was within 12 hours of getting on the plane and wound up being hospitalized for a day and a half before I could leave. So that was a sad yet eye-opening experience. So we try and limit it. Like 4 days is good. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave out on Monday, we should be good. So you'll be fine in the altitude if you stop telling yourself that it will be bad. Okay, I gotcha. See, you don't mind. Oh wait, yeah. I was gonna say you don't mind taking that chance. I do. It still freaks me out. Still kind of freaks me out. And I will give you a call after this, Mrs. Dragon. So you can try and work your access that you were asking about. Hey, Ian Douglas, how's it going? I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. It's been a while. Are you still streaming or have I just completely missed your streams? I got to figure out what's going on because I haven't even seen you go online. Could just be a timing thing or something. I don't know. So Liz, now that Zombie's the ripe old age of what, 28, does that mean that he's going to start going to bed earlier and not streaming at midnight, 1 o'clock? You haven't streamed in like a year. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. It's just you haven't been streaming. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. You got sick one time in a blizzard, sleeping at the rest stop above Vale. Yeah. So my problem, Wick, is the reason we moved from Colorado, because I lived in Colorado Springs, was I was getting hospitalized 4 to 5 times a year with asthma, and we came and checked out North and South Carolina to see where we wanted to live, and we went back up at altitude, and I had a heart attack. So then we moved. It was a question of where do we want to go more or have better options, and we moved. This particular time we went up there, and it probably had something to do with the fact that we had gone to Colorado Springs. There were forest fires going on, and it was bad as well. But yeah, I basically had gone and taken a shower so that I was ready to just get up and go to the airport and get on the plane, and I was cold, and I put on sweats. I was still cold. I got a blanket, and I was literally, my teeth were chattering. And I spiked a fever like 102 and Miss Dragon, boom, took me to the hospital. And I wound up extending my stay there a couple of days to get stabilized in the hospital with, what was it, a sepsis alert that they called that scared you? Didn't scare me because I wasn't paying attention, but yeah. So that's just what freaks me out. So I kind of limit my time at altitude if I can. It's just health-wise, why risk it? Beautiful. I like going up there. I like going up there and seeing all of my I'll call them my work kids and stuff like that that I still talk with back there. But yeah, it's a bit. You have a mini humidifier. Yeah, that's true. It is definitely a drier climate up there as well. And yeah, like Miss Dragon said, it might be a little bit easier for me. I've been down here a lot longer. I'm not as heavy as I used to be, stuff like that. But I try not to roll the dice on things like that anymore. What was the question? Yeah, zombie. I asked if now that he's getting old and he's 28, is he going to start streaming a little bit earlier and not go until like 1, 2 in the morning? Ooh. I can't tell if this layer shifted or if it's part of the file. But it may have layer shifted just a bit. And it could have been me switching into ludicrous speed in the middle of a print too. Those can still function in the morning after a stream. Yeah, exactly. Like I want to watch his streams more often, but a lot of the times I'm just too tired. Guess it's a function of getting old, you know. I will say it is a little bit louder with the running it at ludicrous speed. Let's play with buttons again. That's back to balance. That rear skirt cooler. Oh, that's not even the rear skirt cooler. It's not even kicked on. It's just a standard part fan. A little loud, a little wheezy. Old is subjective. You just turned 51 and feel 94. Yeah, yeah. I went to the gym one time and did one of those like full body test things. And apparently, you know, I was 40 at the time, and it literally said my body age was like 92. Like, yeah, I feel old, but I don't feel that old. Thank you. Um, I stopped going to that gym. Yeah, she's zipping along. We did a few of the other prints. So we did a couple of functional prints. One is on the back, which is the poop chute in the form of the Elegoo Centauri Carbon printer. The other one, you can kind of see along here. This is a holder that you mount on the side for your top glass panel. If you ever have to take your glass off, or if you're printing PLA, you can take that off, slide it right on the side there, and it holds it securely enough. It hasn't been rattling around or anything. Just been chilling there. We did the pre-sliced Eiffel Tower, and the detail in here for being a 0.4 nozzle came out really well, including the inner handrail and everything. That's a lot of retracts and stuff, and it took it like a champ. The overhang on the arches is really good. So, and then of course we did the baby Buddha. And sorry, the lighting sucks. I really need to do something about lighting this year. And that came out really well. And these are printed on the textured build plate. So this is a dual-sided build plate. There's a side A, which is, I'll say, more of a standard, rougher texture that is good for PLA, TPU, ABS, PETG, and carbon fiber. And then the other side, you could flip this over to the B side, and it's more akin to the, like the bamboo cool plates, or what I used to say, the engineering plate, the BQ glacier plates. It's not as rough in the texture. It's got a lighter texture. And I will say it says 5-star for adhesion. They mean it. It is very adhesive. Hey, MakerMind Nexus, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you. It was good to see you over on Canuck Crater stream this morning. I was like, what stream did I log into earlier today? Nut Craters. He was building his Prusa, and I'm envious because my Prusa still hasn't arrived yet. It's probably going to arrive. Beverly's going to probably text me and be like, hey, so guess what showed up at the shop today? And send me a picture of the box, and I'll be like, really? You're killing me. Just hanging out in the garage and working on some things? Gotcha. Gotcha. So for those that don't know, I'm one of the reasons why MakerMind Nexus is coming to Murph, because I told him that he's got to bring me my printers. So I'm getting the Mark III and the FL Sun Super Racer from him. I was like, you got to come down, get me my printers, and give me a hug. I mean, I could come up your way, but it was a good enough reason to tell you to get out of the house. Stop being a slacker. Get out of the house. Yep. And before you guys go, wait, you've got 2 more printers coming from Murph. Yes, I do. There is no 2 for 1, like Mrs. Dragon was saying. Um, the 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 Prusa already has a home in mind, not in this house, and the FL Sun Super Racer will stay here for a while. I'm not sure what I will wind up ultimately doing with it, but I've wanted a Delta for a while, so might as well get one and run one. You're not upset a bit. Exactly. You get to come down and have jambalaya and get a bunch of hugs. Like that's called mental health in some places, right? Come out and get a big bowl of jambalaya and hugs. You'll be there Sunday to help you load up and put it in the house. Yep. The Elegoo is going pretty good, techno side. Like I said, we printed some pre-sliced files. One is on the back of the printer. It's the poop chute that you've seen several people show off that looks just like the printer itself. Let me try and get the screws off of it. The nice thing that I like about this one, even though it probably could be bigger, but for now it's perfectly fine because you don't get a lot of poop on this. It doesn't poop every print or anything like that. It's more of color changes. I mean, we've got baby poops. I've been running nothing but the silver, so this was the leftovers in the machine so they did test a print on it before they packed it and shipped it. But here's the modeled poop chute that's modeled as the Centauri Carbon, complete with the USB port and the screen. So that's the very first thing. We printed this last night when we opened it up. And then I did the Eiffel Tower, once again pre-sliced on the printer. Focus, there we go. So the Eiffel Tower, this is polar filament silver, PLA. And the detail is awesome on this. I've never printed one of these out, but it ran it like a champ. We got the pre-sliced Buddha. And now we're doing a file that we slice using the Elegoo slicer, which is a skinned version of Orca. And what I realized, because I was going to be making a point and being snarky, yeah, in the car, not the house. No worries making mine Nexus. But yeah, I was not expecting mine to ship until June. That's what it said was shipping. I got the hot end, and then I got the printer. What I'm still waiting on is the extra print beds that I ordered. I haven't gotten the extra print beds that I ordered yet. So I need to go and log into the other email address and check it out. But this is Orca Slicer. This is Elegoo Slicer. It's Orca. Don't know why they didn't just ship Orca, especially when I was over here and I looked and saw that they did have an Elegoo Centauri Carbon profile in Orca, complete with the critical piece, Elegoo Link. So you will see that there is Creality Print, which is the separate communication channel for Creality. I had not seen the Elegoo Link until I was just getting ready to make a comment about it. Elegoo Link is there. What's missing? Anycubics link. Anycubic has their own link protocol, and so for the Anycubic Cobra S1, I can slice all I want in Orca and then move it by hand because I have no way of interfacing and uploading into it without using their slicer. That kind of annoys me. They need to, because they're running an Orca, a skinned Orca. So why are you not integrating and providing your Anycubic link protocol or key or whatever they're using over into Orca so that people can use Orca native, right? The device tab, of course, is, I'll say, nerfed a little bit. It gets that fluidy type feel, but it's the same thing you get by just going to the IP address of the machine. Same exact thing. So that's good. You get the camera functionality. I know that there's some people complaining that the only way you can get to the camera on some apps is through the actual phone and going through the web service. But this is fully functional right through their slicer app, or fully functional right through the website. This feels to me a lot like a fluid skin, more so, but this also looks like Creality. So if I logged into the K1C web interface, it looks very, very similar, right? Anycubic's very, very similar to this. So this seems to be what companies are doing now. It's almost like they have the same UI developer. There is an Orca profile. That's what I was showing is there is a Orca profile in here in 230 of Orca. Now what I haven't done is I will need to take the time to come through here and look at all the default settings side by side and see if they actually are importing or exporting the same configuration into Orca that they're running in their skinned version of Orca. I don't know why they wouldn't be, have the same exact parameters, but we'll see. You'll see that this is the Elegoo slicer. So you've got standard at Elegoo CC04 nozzle. Coming over here, if I select Elegoo there's generic ABS. This is 02 standard at Elegoo CC04 nozzle. It should be the same. I just haven't gone through and side by side them, which is what I need to do to verify that it's the exact same profile. But once again, it's nice that you could use theirs if you want, or you can use Orca Slicer, and once again, Orca Slicer device tab. It's the same interface because it's just hitting the web port, right? So that's pretty cool. That lets me stay in Orca for the vast majority of my systems. Right now, the things I break out of Orca for, the baby belt, because it doesn't support a belt printer yet. So we're using Idea Maker. The Prusas, I use Prusa Slicer for that. Parthenax, I'm using Prusa Slicer for the IDEX functionality because that's what they've said. They, at the time, Prusa was the only one that was fully supported. They're working on Orca, but they didn't have a fully supported IDEX capability in there yet. So as soon as that's there, I will be giving that a shot. And very much could be the same government team writing the software or whatever. It's like Okay, just what color do you want? Boom, here you go. We got you a new color that's unique to you. There you go. Um, but so far, the flower is looking like a flower. I'll bring you guys back in here. Do that. We'll bring this up. And we'll zoom you in a bit. So yeah, it's printing a flower. When I get back from Rocky Mountain, maybe one of the first streams that we do when we're talking about all things Rocky Mountain when we come back, we may go through and just pop open the front cover and look at some things. From the looks of it, we've got an X and Y or B and A motor in the back top here. The X motor, God, the Z motor, like on the Bamboo, the Z motor is hidden. On this, it's visible. It's right at the bottom, pointing down. One Z motor, triple lead screw. That tells me that under the printer there is a closed loop belt wrapped around all three Z lead screws with a tensioner. So nothing untoward there. We did the check. So the top and the pillars are non-metallic. So that means they're probably not metal. The side panels, the rear panel are magnetic. So that tells me those are steel sides, which is pretty good because this does have a side spool holder by default, not a rear spool holder. So somebody is starting to listen at least and putting a side spool holder on. The nice thing is this has a side spool holder and there should be enough room because it looks like there's a auxiliary blower fan that sucks air from the back of the printer. And right here, this is an auxiliary skirt fan coming from the back towards the front. Over here on this side, yeah. So here is that internal blower fan for the skirt. On here, there's a circular vent with what looks like, dark foamy stuff, which is probably some type of carbon filter. And like a 60-20, maybe a 60-10 that's blowing air out the back. So that's your filtration and the totality of your filtration. Being that this is 256 by 256 by 256, there should be plenty of room right here on one side or the other to put a bento box and be able to get some better filtration when you're running ABS, ASA, and stuff. You can see there's your Z motor right there. So should be plenty of room in here to do a mod similar to what we did on the Bamboo, where we put a bento box on the right-hand side and a chamber heater on the left side, right? They haven't released an AMS type system for this printer. That is correct. What I saw from somebody else's video recently is a multicolor option potentially coming in Q3 of 2025. Let's jump out to the Elegoo site. So I did see somebody post something that showed on the website about it. Oops, let me switch over here. Yes, and see, I gotten the extra hot end and the extra the 3-pack of dual-sided build plates. So I'm waiting for those to come in. Anti-vibration feet. You can print your own. Hey, Big Jano, how's it going? Welcome on in. Yeah, Big Jano hype, that's for sure. I wonder where they came up with those dimensions. Exactly. It is, it very much is. And in fact, when this first came out, they were sending them to the influencers, the major influencers, and they were being told to compare this to the X1 Carbon. And really, there's some things that make sense for that, especially the screen and everything. It's very much a good user interface, just like the X1 Carbon is. The thing that we're missing is the AMS. So, you know, Core XY, 500 millimeters per second velocity, 20,000 millimeters per second acceleration. It does have full auto calibration, and you can run that at every print. It's slow. It's doing a nozzle tap, from what I could tell, and it's a full nozzle tap pattern across, like doing like a 7x7 on the bed. It does say multicolor printing available Q3 2025, compatible with Centauri Carbon. So they've got the poop chute here. They've got the nozzle scrubber. So it's prepped and ready for it. It's just not here yet. And I like this because it's prepped to evacuate it, right? Like I've got a K1C. I can put the Creality CFS on my K1C and make a few mods to do it. And it poops just internally on the bottom bed of the printer. Well, the downside of that is if I'm doing a full height print, multicolor, it's going to hit the bottom and crunch on that poop. That's going to be an issue, right? But yeah, let's put it this way. The Creality, you know, let's see. 220, 220, 250. Relatively close, but it's standard ecosystem. So, you know, that's a standard ecosystem for Creality. The Bamboo is 256, 256, 256. The Anycubic Cobra S1, 256, 256, 256. And it's got the whatchamacallit, the heated ACE unit, right? I don't know yet what the multicolor is going to look like here. I really don't. You know, built for high speed. It's fully enclosed. Die-cast design. Yeah, there you go. Die-cast aluminum construction. So the frame is aluminum. The left, the right, and the rear panels are steel because they're magnetic. And of course, the front door is glass. The lid is glass. They're both tempered glass. They used to say that about Ender 3. What was that? Right now, Chewy, the quality of the machine is pretty darn good. In some ways, I like having the screen down at the bottom. Yeah, it's everything I print on it's been good. I've not got a lot of time on the printer. But once we get back from 3D Printopia, I've got a couple of projects to work on. And kind of like we use the K1C to print all the parts for the drag racer chassis. And not only did we print one, Um, we printed a full second chassis. This is the carbon fiber PET G from Fibron, Polymaker Fibron. And I've got the servo down here. I've got the full steering done for it. I started to print the wheels, and the tolerance on the wheels were just getting out. So I think I just need to dry the PET G. So when I get back, I'm going to throw it in the IBOS and dry it out really well. And because that's the only thing I have that'll fit the 3 kilo spool, other than I guess I can put it in the E-dry there. But yeah, we'll get that done, and that'll be another chassis that will be ready to go. And I know where it's going to go. It's going to go down to Ecovate to show off the Fibron line down there at Ecovate. She asked me to print something out in the PET GCF because she's stocking the 3 kilo spools. So I was going to take that down there. And so we'll do something else like that. We're going to do some type of larger project, and we'll print it out on this printer altogether. And in fact, this may be, I'll be talking with Beverly about it, but she's going to be stocking the Centauri Carbons at Ecovate 3D. So if she's not getting a floor model, she may have this one as a floor model out there. It's funny, a lot of my printers are going over there to be floor models because they haven't gotten floor models of stuff. But yeah, we'll print out a bunch of things. And for those of you that are local or semi-local, or maybe just feeling like making a drive, out on Ecovate 3D's Discord, I'll have to get one of those linked up here soon. I'm gauging interest in a like a group build for Death Racers. So it's something that me and Evil Diesel will be there on hand to help people go through and build their Death Racers from the Big Tree Tech kits. So all you have to do is print your parts and order your kit. And we're going to try and set up a day. It may be during one of the standard maker meetups. It may be a different day where we go down and have everybody come in and we just do a group build. That way we're all in the same step. We're all going through. If people are having questions, I'll be there. Evil Diesel will be there. We've built enough of them that we can help people do that. Oh yeah, there you go. That everything was a direct clone of an Ender 3. Exactly. And the simple fact is, everything that you've got here yeah, I mean this we're going to say this equates to the X1C, right? Some people will argue maybe a P1S. Yeah, P1S is the fully enclosed out of the box, right? Maybe a P1S, maybe a P1 or an X1C. I'm going to say that this is relatively close to an X1C. It's got all the features there. It's got a side skirt fan. It's got the camera. It's got the light, what it's worth. It's got the tempered glass front and lid. The only thing it's missing is the AMS, but technically everybody looks at the X1C and AMS as a package. It's not. It's two separate things. You got to buy the AMS separately. They just sell them as a combo. Centauri came out with this before their multi-material was ready. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's probably because of the fact that Anycubic came out with the Ace, which is heated. Bamboo is out with the AMS2 Pro, which is also a heated version of the AMS. Imagine that. Like I said, the touch screen with the interface and everything, it's slick, it's polished, it looks very much the same. Yeah, it looks to be worth it. And once again, This price has not changed yet. I'm live on the website right now. It has not changed. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything here of tariff stuff. Like I don't know. I don't know if this price is going to change if I go to click on something, but right now, estimated shipping date from the U.S. warehouse is before July 31st. I will tell you, they told me my batch was June, and I've got mine already. So either they're ahead of schedule or something, I don't know. Some pre-order spare parts, accessories, PLACF filament will ship between April 30th and August. Please refer to their product pages for details. There you go. So I will say that for the cost, it's pretty competitive so far. I don't have time with it. I've got to get some time with it. Like my X1Cs, I've got a year because I bought the one right after Rocky Mountain. And the second one, when they opened the Micro Center in Charlotte, so probably 6 months ago. I mean, yeah, it may be more similar to the P1S. That's what I'm saying. P1S, X1C without an AMS, you can argue either way. The thing is, the P1S has more of the dumber screen or dumbed down screen, where this does have the touch full display. Like I said, compared to either one, it's still, this is still what, half the price of a P1S? You're hoping yours will ship out in the next few weeks? Yeah. And that's the thing, MakerMind Nexus. It so far in the 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5th print, it prints plastic, and it prints plastic pretty darn well with decent quality. We're going to see some on this print, which is actually a good print. So thanks, Pezliz, for sending me the flower, because Mrs. Dragon mentioned flower. I will probably see if I got, let me see. I'll be right back. Let me see something. Do I have enough filament? Ooh. Do I have can hear me? Fortunately, that answer is going to be no. So I don't have the gradient luminous rainbow, but I do have celestial green and gradient translucent rainbow. So Mrs. Dragon, there's the, whoops, I'm gonna go full bench side. So there's the translucent rainbow. Probably be a little bit more shiny than the cat that we did, which was more of a matte filament. Or this is the celestial green. And I know Liz is on here and she'll tell us this. The celestial green, is that kind of like a glow in the dark type? It's a minty green, yeah. So Mrs. Dragon, which would you like to see me print the flower in? Because I mean, a silver flower's nice, but I hear Pez wants minty, or it says that it's minty, and Maker 9 Nexus says green. Maybe I'll do both. We'll see what I can get printed out. It's an hour-long print. I'll try and get some things printed and maybe throw them in the truck and bring them with me to the show. Technocide votes the rainbow. Okay. Mrs. Dragon's there. She can also chime in. I'll probably do one of each. One second, folks. See, it's 8:41 the night before we leave, and Evil Diesel just texted me and said, "Do we have enough remotes, the trigger style for the dragsters?" Like, well, I don't know. You told me that all the remotes were in a box, and I never looked in it. We're going to confirm that that's good. And what we'll do is we'll go to, as that plate's cooling down, we're going to go to our little sliders. I thought that's where it is. Go to extruder. And this is where you select the temperature that you want and then unload or load. So we'll go ahead and say go to 220 and unload. And I heard a mint, green, and I heard a rainbow. We'll do the let's do the mint green. And this has one of those bags that you can save and reseal. So I'll try and be good and struggle with not stabbing it. And just cut it open. Here we go, just for Liz. We cut the bag. Oh. Back out normal. We'll go with the minty green. Looks like there's a little bit of a sparkle to it as well. All right, come over to this side of the printer. Not tripping ourselves. Would be bad on stream. No tripping and falling again. Okay. Said unload. Did it not unload? Sounded like it unloaded. It went through all the motions. Went through all the motions, but it doesn't seem to have let go. The other thing I will tell you is I kind of like the K1C where you had the little tensioner lever, so you just flip the thing and it untensioned. So, stabby stabs worth. I did not stab it. I was good. This feels like it's got a little bit left on it. Here's our purge line. Not a whole lot. It looks like one area of the model that it did a one area of the model that it did a rem on. Overhangs, I mean, it's the bottom of the model. This is a good test though for these overhangs right here, because those are some pretty steep overhangs. They did pretty good. Printing like this. A little bit of strings and wisps, but that filament's been open for quite a while. So I think it did pretty good. Like I said, one little piece where there's brim. And it says that it unloaded. So we shall see if it truly unloaded and I can pull it through. Okay. Very hard to get in and out, and that's because of, in my opinion, the PTFE tube path. It is very much a kind of a tight bend radius around. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a so PTFE tube wise, it comes from the side, up, around, into the cable chain. So it does this semi-tight loop, comes out right here, and then dives down into the nozzle. And it's a bad angle. It's just a bad angle. No two ways about it. Pull that out one or two. Does that help angle any? Not really. Like, how's this? I can't even tell where I'm at in the tube if I'm all the way there or not. It feels like I am. Okay. So we're going to say 220 again, and we'll hit load. It's going to go ahead and heat back up to 220, and it will start to do its thing about pulling filament through, hopefully. I can see now why there's a guy that has designed a riser lip that has a slot in the back for the PTFE tube, and they pulled the PTFE tube out of the drag chain altogether and just ran it up and through the back of that riser and back over here. And it makes it a lot nicer and less of this acute bend right there. Okay, that is trying to load filament. And like I said, I can't even tell if my filament is all the way there or not. So let me, yeah, I wasn't even at the, there we go. I wasn't even at the thing. I got caught up back here. So let me put that back in. So that's something that's going to need to be addressed. There we go. It's loading now. That's something that's going to have to be addressed. That is just not a very good. I mean, Creality does the same thing, but they do pull it out of the cable chain back here, and it's long enough to allow for a little bit more of a swoop in. This is just, it's too tight and bends it down. Kind of don't like it. Kind of don't like it. But so far, I'll say that's really kind of the only thing that I'm pinging about. That wound up being a little weird of a poop, but we'll live with that. So we'll say completed. Come back in here to our files, and I'm going to go ahead and do another flower. See what this looks like with fresh filament that hasn't been sitting out for a long while. How's it going, Tugboat? Yeah, like I said, this is just I just grabbed the standard profile and just said slice. I didn't tweak anything. I didn't add any additional support. Yeah, it probably could use some additional support. I want to see how well it prints, because, I mean, this was pre-sliced. It didn't have any problem with any of the overhangs under there. So yeah, so I figure I wanted to see what it could do. So we'll get it rolling again with a second flower, because Mrs. Dragon wanted a different color. You want one to point out the oddities? Like I said, so far from what I can tell, that's really it. But once again, I've got a handful of print hours. The print history. Yeah, less than 10 print hours on it so far. And we'll let this one roll, and we won't mess with it and adjust speeds during it and stuff. We're just going to let it roll. See what it does. Hey, Additive Adam, how's it going? Hope you're doing well, friend. So we're just printing and playing and chatting a bit on our tonight, and we're printing on the new Elegoo Centauri Carbon, right? And what we're printing is another flower. This is the first file that we've directly sliced that hasn't been pre-sliced, and this is printed in polar filament silver. Once again, flat surface. You can see that there's some interesting overhangs there. And it didn't do too bad overall. I mean, like I said, that's almost a near 90, gnarly 90-degree overhang right there. And it handled it. Right here was where it could use some cooling off a little bit more, but I think yeah, that particular flower is kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it's in line with the skirt cooling or not. But also the filament that I use for this silver, which is polar filament, has been sitting out for like a year open. So I may do an index install stream, but I will say by the time I get it, I don't know, everybody that was just out at Bondtech, like Canuck Creator, Manic Really, and so forth, will most likely have had theirs and done their installs. But will I? Yes. If I get my hands on one, I will. I did reach out and throw my hat in the ring as, you know, I would love to participate. You know, I've got tool changers, I've got IDEX, I've got box turtles, I've got MMUs. So one more type of changer would be added to the pot that I can evaluate. We'll see if they, we'll see what they do. I don't know. I have not heard back from them as of yet. Now, with that being said, sorry, I'm trying to respond back to Evil Diesel as he's texting me because he's now into last minute pack mode as well. I do know that there are a couple of things that I may get to try out. I may have a co-print system made available to me. That will not be a stream from the Dragon Den though. That'll be a stream from Echovate. Echovate's gonna, my understanding, last thing I heard was they're probably gonna get a co-print, and I've been asked if I'd be willing to do some content and install it on something, and I said, why, yes, I would. There's some other things that I have been told to be on the lookout for. What was that? These guys, yes. So I have heard that those of us at Rocky Mountain might see one of these, or at least see the team that is bringing this to life. No ad. Oh, well, that sucks. So if you're saying when it gets down to 5 seconds that I turn the screens different so you can't see what I'm talking about, it'd be really cool. No, no real announcement. But I've just heard from friendly sources 10 seconds. Okay, so I should switch back over and say, here you go, boom, there's the announcement. I've got an Elegoo Centauri Carbon. No, I have been told that the folks behind this system may be at Rocky Mountain RepRap Fest. You may have seen this, you may have heard some content about this at Rapid. I believe Canuck Creator or Sam Prentice, one of the two, had videos on this. This is called Automate, OTTOMAT3D.com. This is a system, a motorized system that will pull build plates and store them and load a new build plate into your printer. It does this with the knowledge of how tall the print is, so it knows how much space to leave between the plates here. Okay? This is basically a full 3D printer motion system that does this. We'll look at the little stock footage here. This will be great for people with print farms, big or small. So I think this is going to be a pretty cool little system. But how many of these would you need? But this is kind of like an open source version to some of the things that we have seen before. I believe Prusa has their large scale one that they have shown around the world, but that's really geared towards I don't even want to say production print farms. I think that was more geared at industry or industrial applications. So I think this will be a really cool project to check out. I'm looking forward to checking it out at the show. Not what I wanted to do. Down. How do I get out of this? Go back. Yeah, that'll be something. Once again, it's coming out on Kickstarter, which is what it is. We'll have to see what that's like, what kind of what kind of dollar value it's looking at and stuff like that. But I have information that those folks may be there. I don't know if they're going to be at a booth paired with somebody's booth or anything like that. But they should be there for people to take a look at. And like I said, that particular system with its modularity would work well for people that have some print farms and are doing printers like full plate stuff. Like if you're doing small pieces, then doing either a tool head ram or like ramming and knocking things off, because you've got, if you have your printer at a slight angle and you knock it with either the front of the tool head or with the the bars or linear rails or linear rods, you can knock prints off. That works great if it's a smaller print. You're not going to do that with a helmet or a large full surface plate, or especially if it's a plate of some sort, right? Like a large box for an electronics thing. You're not going to be able to hit it and push it off because it's got so much contact surface. The best thing you can do is something like that pulls the plate over and gets a new plate and gets a print going. Meanwhile, the parts are cooling off. You can come around later on, snap them off, reset the empty build sheet down at the bottom. And it'll save you a little bit of time. Also, that's a way of automating some things to keep a printer going overnight, right? If you're doing serial print stuff. Or even if you have queued jobs, I'm sure it would work with queued up jobs to automate that. I think that'll be something cool to check out. But yeah. What's everybody else doing? Everybody excited? Those of us that are heading to Rocky Mountain? Who all's driving and who's flying? Liz is packing. Yep, you're flying. And you're flying Thursday, Liz, or are you flying tomorrow? You're flying Thursday, Adam? Okay. Good. Yeah, we're getting in the truck and starting the drive tomorrow. You're parking your butt in a chair and watching streams. Sorry, bud. I was actually contemplating, like, do I bring my, like my C920 or whatever that I've got over there, or one of my extra cameras, and just set it up on a small tripod pointing at the build as I'm building a box turtle. I don't know if I'll go the full Monty of trying to set up a full stream. It just may be a basic setup of Twitch just to stream what I'm doing from the show. Flying Thursday, Zombie Mobile. Oh, you're going to fly out and meet up with Zombie, right? He's going to pick you up at the airport? I'm going to say what I can see, this looks like it's probably printing a little bit cleaner than the silver was. And like I said, that's probably just because it's, well, probably a lot drier than the silver filament from Polar is. Yeah, I gotta see. I'm pretty sure that I can. What do we got? We've got 1080p 922 here with a whatchamacallit mount, camera mount. There's one of my smaller tripods. So, oh, there we go. That is a tripod. So we're going to do this. We've got I think this is a 922 on a, that has the quarter 20. We've got that. So this would work as a impromptu stream stand setup that I can set up on the table, run it from the laptop where I'm pulling up the instructions anyhow. The USB-A, so I'll need an A to C adapter of some sort. an A to C adapter. So that gives me an A, an HDMI, and a C. Is that a power in one? Yep. So there we go. We got an Apple one, so that should work. So we've got those two things, or those two things there. Hey, look, I've got a box that I can put it in so that it all makes it there safely. Who knows? Some of this might just find its way into the flyaway kit, which will also go to Ecovate during maker meetups. And I'm thinking about possibly just throwing a camera up and, just, I don't think I'll mic up for that, but at least having the visibility there would be good. I guess I better grab the, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to do it, but we could give it a shot. Like I said, I'm not sure if it would even work well. What do we got here? We got all the stuff for the second mic, second lav. Yeah. So we're slowly getting stuff together that we can make a limited, I'll say, to-go stream setup. Yeah, and of course I don't have any streaming setup done on my laptop, so that would be, let's go ad hoc with it. I think I do have OBS on it though. Maybe. Why? Maybe I don't. Does OBS work on Mac? I would assume it does. Maybe that's something I'll work on a little bit tonight. Speaking of working on tonight, hey, it's a little bit after 9. I think I'm going to go ahead and call the stream. I will post pictures of this and I will bring these to, you don't have much experience with it though? Okay, well, if I could at least get it set up, and it would be great if I could switch some stuff over, but if not, I do have all the right files on the laptop to get a basic setup going. But I'm going to let this, I am going to let this print, of course. I think I'm going to call the stream and find some place to raid out to. My plan is to probably go and eat a little bit something more, because, that pulled pork was fabulous. And kind of get the electronic, I've got to get the electronic stuff packed up and finish getting everything I can packed and ready to go. So in the morning, it's like the meds, the toiletries, stuff that you have to pack last minute, and be ready to load out. I'll try and get things loaded out while I'm waiting for Evil Diesel to get over here. If not, 2 hands are better than one. We'll have it done in no time. So, yeah, let's see. Where could we raid out to this evening? Who is running a stream tonight? Ready to spawn. Big Jano. Big Jano's getting ready to go. Uh-oh. We'll have to wait just another minute or two. Let Big Jano come in live. And once he's up and running, because he's on his starting screen, once I see him actually start, we can go ahead and get a raid going. And that way I can work on recharging the mics and everything. And I'm going to take a bunch of extra power bricks with me as well. So normally what I do when I'm streaming is I've got these Kamashi. These are 10,000 milliamp Kamashi, 10,000 milliamps. And they're pretty good. I've got the one that Zombie mentioned as well. I've got one of those as well. I've got two of these, and what I'll normally do is I'll have them sitting there so when I go long on Saturdays, I can plug this into the receiver and I'll plug it into the mic and put it down here in my cargo pocket of my shorts. So I can plug in and it will juice up the receiver and the transmitter mic at the same time. And I do that because it doesn't interfere with the mics. If I plug it directly into the computer, I get noise and static in the microphones, and that's never good. So I'm going to try and get this stuff together so I can play around and work on it. I'll have a couple of nights as we're driving out there to try and work on a setup. And yeah, we'll just try and get a to-go streaming setup, streaming light setup is what I'll refer to it as, so that we're able to stream from the show. Okay, yeah, one of these needs to be charged more. But yeah, I think that'll be a good kind of setup for things. And with that, I think I'm going to sneeze. And okay, it's Jano's starting clip going on. So let me go ahead and get the raid started, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. Liz, I look forward to seeing you soon. Adam, I'll see you soon. And everybody else that's going to be at Rocky Mountain, I will see you soon. And if not, you know, I will see you soon-ish, just not as soon. Because I am looking forward to Maker Mind Nexus out at Murph next month. Not because he's bringing me printers, but because he's just a cool dude. And, you know, we're going to eat jambalaya and get a hug. So thanks everybody for being here. Be safe. Stay safe. You know, mind yourself on the travels. There's crazy people out there. Just let them be crazy, especially those folks that are flying. You know, just keep your calm. You'll get there. And like me, I got to keep my calm driving because I know the way I get sometimes driving. I've got 2+ days of driving, so I just got to keep the chill mode and get there. And, you know, just everybody arrive safe. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye, all. For those of you watching this over on YouTube, thank you for sticking around. If you like the content and you want to see all the cool new things that we're doing the rest of this year, please feel free to like and subscribe this video. Be sure to check that bell so you get notified of future videos. And speaking of other videos, YouTube's going to be suggesting one over here for you. So have a great day, all. Bye now.